So I would still go out and grade a yard, install a paver patio, lay sod, do all of those things because that's the jack of all trades. But there were two things that I was better than anybody else at, and that's where I really made my money. So then I did the same thing the next year. I'm like, I'll cut my business in half again. And I cut it down. And you know what happened when I cut my business back? I made more money. And one of the things I want you guys to understand is if you're barely scraping by right now, as your business grows, a typical business will experience less profit margins. They'll have a higher gross, but less of a profit margin, meaning your pocket doesn't get fatter, your pocket gets thinner, but it gets fatter incrementally. So as you're growing, you may make $100,000 on $1 million business at a 10% profit margin. At $1.5 million, you've now grown your business by 50%, but you may have only increased your profit margins up to 12%. So now you're putting $120,000 in your pocket, but you've taken on a lot more responsibility. Now I'm going to challenge you to say, instead of growing, why don't I shrink my business but attempt to increase my profit margins, meaning I'm going to put more money in my own pocket. When you scale back, when you raise your prices like Keith has done, when you finally get the business to the point where you know exactly what is happening inside of your organization, how much money you're going to make, and you can't raise your prices anymore, that's when you expand. That's when you take on the next group. That's when you start to move onward and upward. So you've got to be able to absolutely dominate every stage of growth in your business so that if you guys think that just having a bigger business is the answer, you're on the fast track to going bankrupt, okay? Because if you are not getting by as a solopreneur, you're likely not going to get by when you have 10 guys under your crew because your margins are going to shrink. So make sure that as a solopreneur, you bring on your team. Remember I said your team is going to make you money. As you grow, you should be growing profitably. There's no reason why you guys should be working without growing profitably. This is the reason why you guys are here. So sorry for backing up one more question.
Hey Stan, can I ask you a question? When we were at Ed Wright's last August, we're driving the truck, you had said something, and I'm sure you got the bullet points. What was the 10-10-10 rule? Like, raise your prices 10%, try to grow your profit 10%, something like that. Your business will triple profit, something like that. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Remember that conversation? That's what I did in the last 12 months. I did less work, raised prices. I've never been happier. Who just wants to be happy with what they do? Like I said, we're miserable when you get home. So you've changed my life the last 12 months. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's rules where if you just literally increase your prices just a small percentage, it's incremental. I mean, it's amazing how much more, exponential, how much more profits you're going to have. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Thank you guys. Thank you, Stan, for sharing all that. Just to go back to YouTube, so do you guys all still film and edit your own stuff?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you guys have any plans, Sean, YouTube?
Yeah, to his question there, for me, my schedule of uploading videos, the minute that my team goes home, I stay down at my shop yet. I just go home to eat. I come back down to the shop where it's quiet, like, everybody else likes to work. So I come down to my shop and I spend 4 hours, 3 hours. By the time I get home, it's 10 o'clock, right? Wife might already be in bed by then, but that's my schedule, and my wife understands. That's what it has been. YouTube has been my life, and I make that commitment. It's like a job, If you really want it, you'll make that time. And so that's my schedule. I don't do anything else. Like you said, I wouldn't know the score from the Vikings game against Green Bay Packers or anything, or what's going on in the news. I don't. The only thing is that what's important is if I want to start a YouTube, do it. And just do it. It's just be committed.
Yeah, Sean, I appreciate that. I think it goes back to what I said. What you put into it, you'll get back. So if you want to make YouTube videos and you have to find the time to do it, maybe not always be at 2 in the morning, maybe you work towards a different goal, but the point is you gotta do what you gotta do to get it done. That's the whole point of hustle and grind and work. Just like with your businesses, it's the same thing. So you get back what you put in. You have to make those choices and those conscious efforts and those sacrifices but know that they should just be temporary, because you should have goals to reach the next level of whatever that is that you want to reach.
I want to add to that. I have 3 tips for YouTube, and I believe everybody should have a YouTube channel. And if not for just social media purposes, but for marketing your business, over 90% of everything consumed online is in video format. And it's a great SEO hack to market your business locally. So if you have a compelling reason and a purpose why you're making these videos, then it'll drive you to do it. If you don't see an ROI, if you don't see a return on investment, then you might be apprehensive about investing your time in something. And so, making money off of YouTube takes a long time. So I believe you have to start it with a deep intention and purpose that calls you. There's something I call the bug. When you get that bug, you get so excited about it, it drives you to make these videos and stay up all night. It's like a passion project. And that's what keeps you doing it, even when you don't want to. So anything that you're excited about, you will find time to do it because you get the bug, right? And so the first tip is that deep calling and purpose. It'll just prioritize over anything else. The second tip is speed. How can you implement and do it faster? 99% of all the videos anybody's ever seen on my channel, especially the ones that are highly edited, complex videos with sound effects and tons of camera shots and takes, those are all done on my cell phone. If you have an Android phone, there's a professional app called Power Director Studio. It's like $4. A professional video editing app inside of a cell phone. Or if you have an iPhone, you can use like iMovie Maker. I don't have an iPhone, but you can do it on your phone. And what I always did was I took any of the cameras any of you guys have, but I would get a micro SD chip with the adapter, so you can take the micro one out. And I carry these little, you know those little SD card ejector pins? I'd buy 50 of those off eBay and put them all over the place and on my key rings, and I'd pop the chip out of my phone, put the micro SD chip in, access it, and now I have all my footage directly from the camera, and I throw it on the timeline, and I get my music from epidemicsound.com, and put on some headphones, sit in a corner for 2-3 hours, excited as hell, and just make some crazy video right on my phone. So you can do all this on your phone. And then the third tip was, I got so excited. Oh yeah. So once you get the ball rolling, editing yourself. My simple one-off videos, I just upload them. I used to edit everything myself, and I hired a video editor. Stan has done the same as well, and it takes a while to find a good video editor, and they can be expensive. My video editor is in Russia. His name is, I can't tell you his last name. His name is Theodore, and he charges me $50 per vlog. I upload all the footage to Dropbox. I say, have at it, and I trust him. He makes videos, and now we have 6 different virtual assistants, and my wife is doing project management, that they're going and syndicating, duplicating, replicating, repurposing the content online, creating blog posts, and for $12 to $15 an hour, you can hire people to do things, and now it's not full-time, on the books with payroll. We're talking, you could hire somebody for a couple hours a month. Literally, my bill for my podcast editor, because the Untrapped podcast, a lot of people have come up to me at the event saying they love my podcast. Here's how it happens if you want to syndicate the content. So if I make a video of me talking for 10 minutes about a topic, I just give the link on Upwork.com to my podcast editor, and then she takes it, extracts the audio, and edits it, puts in my custom intro that I've already pre-recorded. Welcome to the Untrapped Podcast, right? And then distributes it to 12 different podcast platforms, from iTunes, Stitcher, Anchor, all of these. So this is all happening on autopilot behind the scenes. Just like Stan said, when you hire someone and trust them, same thing if you wanted to do YouTube. You can hire people online now virtually to do things for you when you kind of just let go and trust them. And then once you start monetizing, now you just take all the money. I took the money that I made off the internet, off YouTube and the book sales for the first 2 years, 3 years, put 100% of it back into it. So that's how you do YouTube and social media. Does that make sense? All right.
Yeah, that's awesome, Keith. Thanks for sharing. That's obviously, you can see the progression there. So that's an example of some progression for your YouTube channel and editing videos and trying to like have a life, during that whole process, right? So let's move on to some more questions. I want you guys to be able to get all your questions.
Let's go to this big fella right here.
Hey guys, so we all know that, people is the hardest part of a lot of this equation here. So what advice would you give to those of us who are trying to grow our category 1 businesses? How do we find the right people? What advice can you give on retaining, maybe things to look out for, maybe even things not to worry about so much? What can you tell us there?
I'll give one quick tip. First one that I look for is attitude. Attitude. I start everything with attitude. I can teach almost anybody how to do anything if you have a good attitude. If you have a bad attitude, I don't want you on my team. Second thing I see, and I don't have a lot of employees, but I've hired a lot of people. We haven't lost people, they graduate, they move on to my company. But I used to work for Little Caesars at a fast food restaurant that I managed a franchise. So I had, like 70, 80 employees working for me all the freaking time. So I done a lot of hiring and firing. Believe it or not, and I think I did a job article with this once. A lot of you guys think compensation is the #1 thing that your employees want, or even the reason they leave. But if you look at like the 5 top things, and there's just thousands of articles about this kind of stuff, learn more about hiring and firing and what people want. But usually it's they want meaningful work, a team to work with, they want to have significance, they want to have responsibility, and then like #5 is compensation. So compensation is a big part, and like Stan said, pay somebody $80,000 a year if they're bringing in $150,000 a year, because employees are actually free. Okay, employees are actually free, and if you've never heard that, you're like, right? Like Stan said, it's absolutely true. But again, the things that you're communicating to them, you might be communicating money, 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 and all they want to do is, man, my last boss didn't appreciate me. He kept calling me kid, right? So you gotta listen, man, to what these people are saying. So when you're hiring, and also do exit interview things when people leave. Why did they leave your company? And then also when you hire somebody, why did they leave the last company? And then I'll give you a lot of data, and you can go from there. That's my quick tip.
Awesome. Yeah, I wanted to say we're running a little over on time, but I just want to give you guys the opportunity to ask questions so we can, as long as we can, you guys have time, we'll keep going with it. If you guys have stuff you guys
Yeah,
do,
like 10 or 15?
yeah, I totally understand if you guys got to head out for some things, but we appreciate you being here and asking these questions, and I want to get you guys able to ask all your questions. So,
Good question.
did anyone else have another quick tip on that?
Yeah, so you kind of asked how, to find the employees, right? I've had a lot of success on Facebook. There's like local swap shops now, so we have like neighborhood pages, swap shops. A lot of the guys that work for me, really at any age now, but of course in high school and stuff, it was just going around to my buddies like, hey, like, you want some extra money? Do you want a job? Do you know anybody that wants a job? So like high school, and then, a couple years after, it was like just buddies and their buddies. And I had a lot of success with that because, most of the time when you're in school, it's a fast food restaurant or kind of being out on your own and just being outside. And you kind of said, what do you worry about? I used to worry about trying to make the job seem better than it was, but I found that just being upfront, telling people exactly what their responsibilities will be. It's hot out there, it's 100 degrees, it's gonna be summertime, you're gonna be working long hours, if it rains, you might be working weekends, and just being upfront with that, and most people wanna work. Like if they're coming to you for a job, they're gonna wanna work, so just being upfront and honest about that. And I always worried about it, and I always worried about sending guys off to work while I go do quotes or go do landscaping, and what would they think of me since I'm not out mowing, since we're a mowing company, right? And just getting over that fear and learning that the owner does have other responsibilities. We have to go quote the lawns to make sure that we're bringing in new customers. We have to do marketing and things like that. So I've had a lot of success on Facebook, so it's worked well.
Can I say something quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
I've been in the landscaping lawn care business for 10 years, and this is the first year that I'd say I've got a great team behind me. And for the 10 years that I was trying to build my business, I struggled with just same thing as anybody struggles, finding the right person. And finally, if you've watched my videos, I was hiring the wrong people and doing wrong, I had to be clear of where my company